Ever felt you were playing catch up in real life? I'll share 3 psychological shifts that I'm doing right now to climb out of that trap. Maybe it'll help you as well. My name is Gil, and welcome to DumaLife, a channel for men rebuilding purpose, mindset, and peace. I'm not a guru. I'm not selling any courses. Don't worry. I'm just a regular guy trying to make it happen, and maybe we can help each other along the way. Let's go. The biggest insight I have for you is that the biggest shift that you'll ever make is stop comparing your timeline with someone else's timeline. That single change literally freed me from the stress, and it made me focus on staying in my own lane, to be honest with you. You know, it's always been bad for me to compare yourself to others, but I've always had this topic of contention within me, like, I know they say compare yourself to yourself the day before or whatever, last year or whatever, but sometimes I feel like, how am I doing next compared to the next guy? And now that can be done positively and negatively as well. If you're looking at someone you idolize, you want to be in the future, like your idol, yeah, I think there's certain traits you can pull from in comparing, but comparing to people that, like, in a negative sense, I stopped, because that literally just killed all my ambition, to be honest with you, in many aspects. And after a while, I had to train myself as to, listen, man, that person probably is going through their own stress, their own this and their own that, and I'm no different. So might as well look up to the people you idolize, that you want to, you want to emulate, but for everyone else, just stay in your own lane and keep it moving. Going back to this, I used to be scrolling, the media, social media. And I don't know about you, but me, I'm like going through guys with like better bodies, better jobs, better houses, better cars, and just better everything in me initially. But I didn't realize, man, I was just wasting my time, man. Like, because some of these guys are like my age, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't realize, like, this is nonsense, like later on, I'm like, what the hell is happening here? Like, I can't catch up to some of these dudes to some extent. I'm like, and I found out a lot of it is fake as F. It's just like a stage play on fakeness, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, man, just stay in your lane. And there was a point in time in my life where every weekend, what am I going to be drinking? Where am I going to be going out? And how am I going to hang out with my friends? And I would have to say, to be honest with you, this probably, those the binge drinking, the weekend drinking, the going out with friends, the clubbing, probably stopped the moment I got married, which was like 20 years ago. But back then, that mindset really destroyed my self-respect. You know what I'm saying? It really, like, looking at social media when I drank could put me into that zone of maybe forgetting a bit, and it really messed with my self-respect, to be honest with you. And because at the end of the day, I was like measuring myself to somebody else's, measurement, to somebody else's scoreboard. That was a really rough time in my life, to be honest with you, trying to find my identity, on the backs of people that I thought were doing very well. But now in hindsight, because, hindsight is 2020, I realize that, man, they were just as screwed up and messed up as me. Really put in perspective as to, like, just focusing on your own life, because some people are going through their own mess. Some people are going through their own mess, and they can hide it better. They look like everything is going good, but then in reality, it's not. So put down that phone, put down that iPad, stop scrolling, work on yourself, right? And do what you gotta do. Read books. And if you are gonna be on the internet, look up motivational stuff. For me, motivational and Bible things. That's all I'm saying. Give it a try. So this is very cliche. The turning point of my life, kind of like my rock bottom for me, was one day, like, I was out, honestly, hopefully my wife doesn't see this, but if she does, whatever. I was out with a girl, when it was late nights, and my mom is calling me on the phone. Imagine my mom and my dad, both immigrants, busting their butt trying to make a good life for their kids. It's like 5 in the morning, and we're sharing cars. Comment down below if you share a car with your parents. And she's calling me, "Where are you? Where are you?" And my mom's pissed off. And you ever seen a pissed off Filipino mom? It's not, it's not a good sight. So I'm rushing home and this and that. The gas in the car is like running on E, literally, Michelle. I know she'd be way pissed off now. So for me, that was like rock bottom. Like, man, like when I got to my house in Hempstead, Long Island, I didn't even go pull up in the driveway. We did like a switch, like a NASCAR driver. My mom, as soon as I pulled up, I got out. My mom, no talking to me, just jumped in the car and left. And she got so pissed off because she told me later on, like, "Oh, you left no gas in the car, whatever, whatever." And for me, that was a rock bottom. That was like a few months before I left for the Philippines for college, and I just felt bad. Honestly, I felt bad that I was self-centered. I was just wasn't a good son. Wasn't a good person in general, and that was like the catalyst for me just to self-reflect and kind of realize that this life, I didn't realize it until now. I can't formulate all of that stuff in that point in time, being 18, 19. But this life isn't a race. This is very cliche. It's not a race. It's a marathon. You gotta get a good pace in life. Like it's more like a mountain climb. And when I say mountain climb, you're gonna go up, you're gonna go down, you're gonna go up, and all these things. And everyone has a different trail, and everyone is just as important as the next person based on those trails, based on those differences. And one of the first shifts that I did make was like, number one, again, I stopped comparing timelines because around that time I had friends that were going to good schools. Some friends started picking up and making more money in other things. Back then, back in the early 2000s, it was like the what is that? What was a big thing that my loan officers, all my friends were trying to get me into like loan officer work. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the first shift I made was stop comparing timelines. At the end of the day, I didn't know this at first, but I knew there were remnants and thoughts of myself that I'm built for more. I'm built for more. I know God has a plan for me. I just got to find my route and got to find my journey, to be honest with you. The second shift that I made was turning my pain into data, as in like I really took a zoomed out approach around that time frame to really look at, like really audit my life, as in like what can I do, or honestly, what the F am I effing up on? What can I do to change this? Because I had this vision of myself by 30. Back then, I would be some type of millionaire. I would have X house. I would have this. I would have that. And at that point in time, I'm like 18, 19. I'm like, if you keep doing this, because I ran an audit in my life, you're not gonna be able to do it. So you better stop. And when I say better stop, there was constant failures, you know, constant mistakes at the end of the day. It's not like this is not a success in the making overnight type thing. You know what I'm saying? Still made mistakes along the way. It gave me enough energy to feel like, you know what, I'm still in the game. I'm still around, because around that time as well, a lot of my friends were going in and out of prison, man. I'll be honest with you. A lot of my friends were in prison already. Some of them locked up for they got like 15-year, 20-year bids. So, you know, everything when I was running in audit mode, I was like, Gilsar, you better change something, because it ain't looking good for you. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, like, if you're at that point, I hope it changes for you, honestly. I really do. You know what I'm saying? I wish the best for you. The third shift I would like to say is that I looked at things long term, as in like I was really accepting of, you know, delayed gratification as a concept, not as a lifestyle at first, but more of a concept. I heard about it before, and coming from the ghetto, coming from like Hampshire, Long Island, you are surrounded by characters that are probably not the best role models, and everything was quick for them. Money, girls, cars, whatever you want, it was quick. So those are some of my role models, and I've come to realize around that time frame, I started looking at like, I think that's when I started reading like, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Napoleon Hill's, Think Rich Grow Rich, a few of Carnegie's books. So I wasn't. It took some time, obviously, but I started living this life of I wasn't chasing any fake wins. I was really trying my best to really mold myself into what I thought was a good person. And even then, and even now, I still need refinement, like everyone does. And no one's perfect at the end of the day. So many years later, at 43, I realized these shifts were never about. These shifts weren't theory. At one point, I believe they were, but I'm practicing them now, like as I rebuild myself, and I'm consistently building my future. I use those as one of my compasses as to just setting things up for the future, especially with the daughter in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of want you guys to come out of this particular video with that mindset, and hopefully these little tips of, and I'm not here to preach to you. I'm just telling you from one man to another what I've been through, and hopefully can help you at the end of the day. So I'm really practicing these things to build my future or rebuild my future, to be honest with you, because a lot of things have passed that I could have reached, but I didn't because of my own volition, my own attitude, my own limiting beliefs at the end of the day. So, if you feel behind, maybe you should stop comparing. You should start collecting those lessons, collect that data, and start auditing your life. And moreover, look at things as a long game. Look at things as a marathon. Look at it as what does it look like? What does this look like for me in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? And really speak it into existence that you're going to be here in the next 20, 30, 40 years. You're going to build something in the next, X amount of years. And you want this to happen in the next X amount of years. You're really like talking into existence. And I'll be honest with you, if you're coming from areas like I'm from in Hempstead, or I was in Hempstead, you probably kind of have to get out those areas. If this resonates with you, pause for a second, drop a like, hit that freaking like button, and give me a red heart for other men to discover this, right? And share it with someone that you believe it'll impact them as well. If it impacted you. If it didn't, then obviously you wouldn't reach this far. I'll be honest with you. And if you want more life lessons like this, just log on, subscribe, share the videos, hit the bell and all those things. If you want to share your story, your journey, hit this QR code so we can set some time up to talk, whether it's virtually, but if you're in Davao, we'd love for you to come down and join a podcast for our conversations. My name is Gil. I'm not selling courses. I'm not a guru. I am not a professional at the end of the day. I'm just a regular guy trying to make it happen. And if I can pull some of you guys in here with me or above me, that's all the blessing I need. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the glory goes to God. And moreover, I pray that you find this video and it gives you a sense of value. And I don't know where this channel is going. I really don't know where these videos are going. But I hope if you click on it and you watch this all the way throughout and you hear this right now, just understand that you were meant for it. Understand that God, I believe, is speaking through me, and God is putting purpose in my life to hopefully help you in whatever you're going through. And if it needs to be a private conversation, just hit me up. I'll be more than happy. I've done it many, many times before. And if I have the time to help you out, matter of fact, scratch that. I will make the time to help you out. But Take care. God bless, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.